Transgender people. The sooner theists learn to leave them the fuck alone, the sooner we can leave behind embarrassments like today's video from the Gospel Coalition titled What Christianity Offers to Transgender Persons. Let's check it out.
The message of Christianity is vital as we think about the whole transgender issue, and for many reasons, but two primarily. The first is that we can uniquely account for how it is that someone could end up feeling so at home in their own body.
Okay, already a major issue here. You open up with the phrase transgender issue, a phrase which in itself is pretty neutral as it may refer to the problems trans people face in their lives, such as bigotry. But you then go on to clarify, no, that's not what you mean. What you mean when you say transgender issue is the very existence of trans people. When we start referring to a demographic as an issue, not for a collective action, but merely their existence, all sorts of alarms start going off. As for being able to, quote, uniquely account for the existence of trans people, again, you miss the mark in focusing purely on the body aspect. Fun fact, for some trans people, their body is not dysphoric inducing. For them, it's the way society tries to box them in that's the problem. So already you're showing yourself to be ill-equipped to lecture anyone on the topic of trans people and their experiences.
For people who experience gender dysphoria, people who feel as though their assigned biological sex is not the same as their own gender identity, actually we can account for how someone could feel that way because we understand as Christians that the physical creation has been subjected to frustration. It's out of joint. It doesn't work as it should do. And that includes our bodies. Our bodies have been subjected to that same frustration. And so none of us has a straightforward relationship with our bodies. That includes health issues, that includes body image issues, and it would also include those who don't feel in some way that they belong in the body that they have. I think we can account for that in a unique way given our understanding of creation and our bodies within that. Which should mean, therefore, that Christians are naturally the most compassionate and understanding people there are when it comes to this issue. That should be the case. So I hope we can offer unique understanding and unique compassion.
Well, if by compassion you mean being an outright patronising bastard, then I have to tell you, I think you have it covered. Tell me, where is the compassion in treating an intrinsic part of a person's identity as a disease brought into the world alongside all evils such as rape and murder? Because all I see is you attempting to fluff up the same old claim that being trans is a form of pathology with claims of compassion without bothering to even try and understand what being trans is. Comparing it to a body image problem also doesn't help. A person can't be cured of being trans because there is no issue to be cured in being trans. Gender dysphoria is not reference to being trans, but rather the feeling of dread and despair instilled in someone by the way society perceives them, or indeed the way they perceive themselves. Now for some, the way to deal with this is to socially transition, so to make everyone around them aware of the fact that the person they thought they knew wasn't the real them, that they'd have to hide this very important and core aspect of themselves, and now they feel comfortable enough to express it. For others, hormone therapy assists them. This is something both trans and cis people do. Hormone replacement therapy is also used by post-menstrual cis women. Lastly, we of course have surgical procedures, another aspect sought out by some trans people, whilst others decide not to pursue it. It depends on the needs of the individual, and given access to what they need, plus a supportive social circle, a trans person need never suffer gender dysphoria. Now that doesn't stop said person from being trans because that's not what gender dysphoria is. A fact I need to be absolutely clear on, as you're trying to sneak past the claim that being trans is something defective about a person, and if I let that pass, you'll start talking about reparative torture as a means to fixing said non-existent defect. Fact is, your religion comes nowhere near to being unique on the woo front. Hinduism, for a start, has its own explanation as to the origins of trans people, a group which exists as a segment of the Hijra community. What's more is that they do so without labelling trans people as a disease, since many of their deities had avatars, physical embodiments similar to Christ, yet of genders either varying to the core deity or said deity's other avatars. So even when limiting the competition to other lies, Christianity still fails to come first in being compassionate. Hell, many sects of Islam do better when it comes to the existence and acceptance of trans people. But beyond all of this, trans people have played a culturally significant part in religious practices dating back as far as the late Paleolithic. So the crap you are saying has no real life basis, as should perhaps be expected from a religious apologist.
But more than that, we can offer a unique hope. We know that our bodies are broken in different ways. All of us experience some measure of bodily brokenness. But we know that the ultimate answer to that brokenness doesn't lie within our own bodies. It lies actually within the ultimate broken body of Jesus. That is the case for all of our bodily brokenness. The solution is in him and not in us. And so therefore the ultimate hope for those who are transgender is not going to be found in their own body and in what they can and can't do with it and all the procedures that are available today. The ultimate hope is in Jesus, because the ultimate dysphoria was when he who had no sin was made to be sin for us. That is the ultimate feeling of being in the wrong flesh. And it is in that that we all have our ultimate hope, that in his ultimate brokenness, actually we can find the true solution to our own brokenness, the true hope of the gospel.
Go fuck yourself, you patronising arsehole. Honestly, an infinite being can never experience pain on a level remotely like a finite one. An infinite being feels only what they desire to feel, and said pain can have no negative impact upon them, because if it did, then they wouldn't be all-powerful, since that would be a source of weakness, and weakness is defined by an absence of strength or power. This is as disgusting as the whole 6 hours of pain on the cross means that Christ can level with, say, a victim of child rape. But it gets worse than that. Mr. Preacher here is using this to downplay the necessity of life-saving support to tackle the dysphoria many trans people suffer. This is no different to a preacher telling cancer patients that they don't need a doctor. All they need is hope in Christ, and that's it. It's not just fucking sick, it's fucking dangerous. Don't be brought in by the tone or the terms that are being used. This isn't some benevolent video actually concerned about the well-being of trans people. This is a video designed to prey on the vulnerable, as religion always does. To be clear, if I haven't made myself perfectly so, the people at the Gospel Coalition don't know what compassion is. Period. Hi there. I'd just like to say a few things here at the end of the video before you go. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's ever donated to the channel via Patreon, giving a special thanks to the following people: Hannah Banghart, Matthew Kovac, John Schoenrock, Daniel Martinez, and Alexander Williams. Your support has ensured this channel its ability to grow over the years. I'd also like to ask that you comment down below and like this video, as well as subscribe, hit the bell icon, and follow Essence of Thought on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please also consider following Atheist Alliance International on Facebook, a humanist organisation dedicated to helping atheists around the globe. Any comments utilising language which insults others on the basis of perceived gender, sexuality, ethnicity or ability both mental and physical will be removed immediately, and the commenter may be blocked on the moderator's discretion. Let's work to keep this space one which upholds the values of humanism. Thank you.